Good morning, and welcome to Samadhi Game. Today we're talking about super manifestation of steely nerves and a loving heart, strength, compassion, vision, action, victory, and eternity. Living in you now. On Monday, we asked everyone who was following the broadcasts to go see Superman if they could. We wanted to talk about Superman and how that super manifestation of light can manifest in you. Not just one Son of God, not just one Buddha, not just one Muhammad, but you. Every single last one of us on this planet, bearing this burden of light. Our shoulders broad and strong, carrying this weight of light. My burden is light, said the great master. And so, too, say us this. So we take up Samadhi Game to bring that light, the awareness of that light, the power of that light, the victory of that light into our consciousness, into our worlds, rather than just letting it set quiescent in a heaven world. Rather than just allowing for that light to be resident in the one Son of God, Jesus Christ, or Gautama Buddha, or whatever predilection religion you follow. You know, Robbie will be with us in a few moments, but Robbie and I took up a study of the Superman, this Man of Steel movie that came out last week, and loved it. I thought it was a great movie. I thought it was fantastic. It really, really affected me deeply the first time I saw it, so we went back and saw it again last night because I knew that we were going to be giving this meditation, and I wanted to see it as a second time through, and I realized really clearly, seeing it the second time through, how closely they followed to the scripting of Jesus Christ and his birth and his initiations as a child and his mother's love and on and on in this movie, even bringing the symbology of 33 years into the mix. You can see that they followed very closely to it, and they even count him and call him the savior of mankind in this movie. And it was a fantastic movie, except for the fact this part of it did sort of rile me and say to me, you know, this is just a replay of the Christian fundamentalist idea that there is one savior and he's going to take care of all of us. That's a bunch of, you know what. We each have the burden. We each must find our salvation. Each one of us realize the Christ within us, that Christos, Krishna, Buddha, Allah, Pharaoh, Monarch, Divine Mother, Father, Son, conscious awareness within us now. Each one of us. There's no room for any equivocation upon this. If you want your freedom, if you want your enlightenment, you must take it up earnestly. There's no way around it. You can live the full manifestation of the Superman, this supermodel, this superwoman. You can live that. There's no reason why you should settle for less. So we invite you with Samadhi Game to affirm who you really are, rather than just allowing yourself to live in this mundane footstool kingdom, waiting for a savior. The movie's great. It shows the story of Christ is great. It shows this march to eternity, this march of compassion, this march of vision and action and victory that Jesus took himself. And no doubt it's a glorious story. And they reflected the story almost exactly. It was beautiful. And you didn't even realize it was happening. Beautifully portrayed, wonderful scripting, fantastic acting, powerful music, which we've been playing for you all morning long. And we want to apologize for not having the broadcast up and running as soon as we could. We had some technical delays this morning. But know this, that as you give these mantras from Samadhi Game, you will begin to manifest more and more of the steely nerves and the loving heart, this compassionate heart that you see depicted in this movie. So I invite you to come with us today and give these mantras with us. Give this affirmation of your Superman, your Superwoman. Actually say the words of it and bring it down to earth rather than just letting it sit quiescent in this heaven kingdom. We're going to say the words of Samadhi Game, advertise to ourselves who we really are. And there is really Robbie Nicole Brinkley. Mrs. Brinkley, hello, and welcome to Samadhi Game this morning. I'm getting excited about the fact that Samadhi Game brings us the opportunity to actually live as Superman and Superwoman.
Yes.
Rather than just as members of a footstool kingdom trying to hold on to what we've got. No, with Superman, we're going to say today, instead of saying Samadhi, we're going to say Superman. So we're going to say Superman and super manifestation of light. Each one of us. So as we give our mantras today, wherever you see Samadhi, we'll say Superman. Just like last week we said Superwoman.
No, supermodel.
Supermodel. So today is Superman. So let me get us up over to the mantras here. We're going to give the shadowless light of Superman its feeling, tone, and state of knowing. In this mantra, remember, every time you see Samadhi, we're going to say Superman. So let's go ahead and give these mantras together. When we do this, when we come together in a concordance, we actually create a pressure that is opposed to the pressure of the dual human ego, the pressure of the mass consciousness of quiescence to the dual human ego. This mass consciousness which has a pressure to it that we must have some energy, a lift-off motion to get us out of the doldrums of the dual human ego. So let's go ahead and give this mantra together. O glorious shadowless light of eternity, that brilliance of I am Superman, shining in the void as 10,000 suns, descend, 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 as the tangible substance of loving splendor, dazzling intelligence and palpable power for all to absorb and identify with, as the full and only authority throughout the earth, the boundless treasure house of the universe, and our infinite I am Superman of scintillating fire and dazzling light, that I am. I release the power of mastery without limit now, revealing the self and flooding forth perfect miracles and all activities. Just to bring to the consciousness, in this movie, again, we're talking about this Man of Steel movie. In this movie, they go through his youth, and they show the miracles that he performed in his youth, and which we can all perform. Miracles are just a changing of the frequencies of your own energetic being. If you can up the frequencies of your being, you can create miracles. We've seen it happen. Day after day, when we give these mantras of Samadhi Game, we create a shift in the frequencies that we hold, the frequency of his existence, the powerful, exuberant radiance of that core, that neutral witness, which is the harbinger of miracle. That is the quality of this Christ consciousness. And it is in you, just as it was in Jesus, just as it was in Gautama, just as it is in Superman in the movie. So let's go on. I'm sorry, I just want to continue to make this point, because this is the point that we tend to get buried by the pressure of the dual human ego, and we cannot allow that. We have to be vigilant to the fact that there is this pressure of the dual human ego, and we have to push it back, roll it back with the power of our words said. And by saying them, we invoke this light of the Superman consciousness. Every time we see a a word samadhi in the manifesto of enlightenment today, we're saying Superman. So instead of samadhi, Superman. Let's go back to the mantra. As the full and only authority throughout the earth, the boundless treasure house of the universe, and our infinite I am Superman, of scintillating fire and dazzling light, that I am. I release the power of mastery without limit now, revealing the self and flooding forth perfect miracles in all activities, bringing to pass the enlightenment of the ages, and letting every being on earth sense and surrender to the intimacy of this light. Everywhere, the fullness of this self expanding is love, wisdom, and joy forever. Now, great songs of praise and gratitude burst forth from the heart of humanity for that silent splendor poured out to all. Now, pure love flows forth from the heart of the secret love star, drenching the earth with the glory and ecstasy of golden pink liquid light.
Now,
the oneness of supreme love, wisdom, and blazing joy overwhelms this whirl of duality in its glowing orb of transmutation, reconciliation, and dominion, making of Terra a smiling sun of everlasting, all-powerful, limitless light, casting no shadow, and in which only that absolute perfection can forever dwell. Now, I am limitless gifts of all good things, anointing the earth with abundance, healing, and happiness for all mankind. O presence of a shadowless light from out the great silence, we identify with thee now. I am the elation and exhilaration, freedom and liberation of this eternal experience and gnosis of samadhi, of Superman, its ecstatic hearing, blissful feeling, cosmic scent, sublime taste, and immaculate vision, holding all safely within that compassionate diamond heart forever. I intensify this feeling tone of I am shadowless light in acknowledgement, acceptance, and awareness, surrender, devotion, and adoration for the state of knowing that this all-pervading I am Superman, this intelligence of the heart that is divine illumination. I, the super manifestation of Steely nerves and loving heart, living as a reality in me. And then continuing, am awake, as is the ascended Master Jesus, Buddha, Gautama, all great saints and sages of all religions, to this shadowless light, its feeling, tone, and state of knowing, that I am that never sleeps and enjoys all, now and forever. And you don't see Superman equivocating. Well, maybe I'll be able to overcome this challenge that's before me. Just maybe. You don't see that in the Superman. You see Superman standing tall and strong and saying, yes, I'm going to take care of the situation. Save that being. I'm going to change, transform, and reconcile the duality right here and now. There's that scene in the movie where the forces of evil begin to take over Earth, and then transform Earth into a habitat like their habitat. And so they're going to amp, so they put one spaceship on one side of the planet, another on the other side of the planet, and then these two spaceships release some sort of ray to the planet, and it creates this pulsation through the planet. That's the point where if it continues, it's going to change Earth into Krypton, which is very heavy atmosphere, which no one on Earth could survive. The idea of it is this duality.
Into something they wanted.
Into something,
so
yes.
you show your Superman quality or your your enlightened quality. There's people that will try to join forces to change you to what they want you to be.
Yes, they'll try to change you into their image of who you should be.
Politically
and you
correct.
have to stand so strong in the neutral witness. In your neutral witness, that is the gift that you give gone. You have to stand so strong in it. And oftentimes, we just don't know where we can get that strength from. And that's why we have Samadhi game mantras. Samadhi game mantras reinforce the strength of our hearts, that Superman consciousness, that Superman, Superwoman, supermodel of divinity within us that sometimes we forget. And so we remember it again and again, and that remembrance becomes the habit rather than the forgetfulness being the habit. And that's when these two poles, these two, like the dual human ego, were pulsing through the planet, and Superman had to stand in the neutral witness in order to overcome it and repel this darkness. So it's a pretty cool movie, and despite the fact that it really reinforces the fundamental concept of there being one savior. Just look at this movie as the story of Jesus Christ, and yet you can live as that being, that Superman consciousness, that Jesus Christ consciousness, that Gautama Buddha consciousness. There is no equivocation upon this. I'm not backing down on this. We're not backing down on this. We live as the great ones. We don't live under the great ones. We don't have anything less to give than they gave. Nothing that they did can we not do. Everything that they did is open and possible for us to do if we set our minds to it and we give the invocation and draw the light that they knew, draw from the source of our own beings and externalize it as our gift given gone. Passionate about this today. It has to be done. This is the change that's happening on the planet now. And we, with Samadhi Game Tribe and others like us, are bringing this consciousness to the fore. It's becoming the reality, and fundamentalist Christianity is changing before our very eyes. It must change in order to keep up with the light that's being expanded. And believe it or not, you'll be able to go to Calvary Chapel in several years and hear almost the same thing that I'm speaking today, right now, blatantly.
And in the temples?
And in the temples.
Mosques?
And you'll hear it in the mosques, and you'll hear it everywhere. This truth of you living as the Christ, living as the Messiah. That's who you are. And don't let anyone tell you differently. I bow to the Samadhi within myself, no one else. This Samadhi, this Superman consciousness within myself. Let's go ahead and sing this little ditty. Even as I've waxed, dramatic here. We'll sing a little ditty. I bow to the Superman within myself, known as Lord Shiva, that is the true teacher. This Superman that I am takes the form of truth, consciousness, and bliss. I am always present and full of peace. I am always present and full of peace. I am always present and full of peace. I am completely free and I sparkle with the divine luster. We'll say Christ this time. I bow to the Superman within myself, known as Lord Christ, that is the true teacher. This Samadhi, this Superman that I am, takes the form of truth, consciousness, and bliss. I am always present and full of peace. I am always present and full of peace. I am always present and full of peace. I am completely free and I sparkle with the divine luster. I bow to the Superman within myself, known as Lord Christ, that is the true teacher. This Samadhi, this Superman that I am, takes the form of truth, consciousness, and bliss. I am always present and full of peace. I am always present and full of peace. I am always present and full of peace. I am completely free and I sparkle with the divine luster. It's a tall order. To be completely free and to sparkle with divine luster. In the movie, they show the miracles. They show his mother tending to him and worried about him and caring for him and holding the Immaculate Vision for him, just like the Mother Mary. And then they show him carrying his cross as he's taken by the forces that would
they send him out to the world to save it.
Yes, but
that he'll be a god.
Yes,
the mother, and then that was the last of the mother we saw.
But he also surrenders himself. He has his Gethsemane. He has his Gethsemane, and in the where he goes to the church and asks the pastor in the church about what he should do. What should I do? And behind him is a picture of Jesus in Gethsemane. I mean, this production was blatant, following the path of him. And then he surrenders himself for the good of mankind, but the surrender doesn't work. So he ends up having to actual fight. So he's got to, go out and, and really give it his all to save mankind. So we all have to give it our all. We all have to give our gift gone fully. And if it's even tying a shoe for someone, if it's shining a shoe for someone as a gift, that's your gift. And that's as important as what Jesus did. And there's no difference. If you give your gift as shining a shoe, then that's your gift, and that changes the world. So
you give it without expecting anything in return.
It's the gift given gone. It's the gift. It's what you were sent to do. Each one of us has a mission, just like the Christ, just like the Buddha, just like the Allah, the Muhammad. Each one of us has this mission that we must fulfill. And we have to tune into it, listen to it, and then do it. So just like they say in the Nike commercials, do it. So let's go on and give some more of this. Opening pillar of light. The Superman within you, the Superman in the movies, they put on the mantle. They don't just, walk into trouble. They put on their suit. They put on their cape, that mantle of Christhood, that mantle of I amness. And that strengthens their aura. It protects them from the negativity, which is inevitable when you stand and say, I am who I am. Everyone's going to say, who saith thou art? Who do you say you are? Do you say you're the God of gods? Yes, we do. I am that I am. And when you say that, they want to put you, of course, up on the cross. So let's see if we can put on a little bit of armor like did Superman with his cape flowing in the breeze, just like an archangel's wings. Let's go ahead and say these mantras. Sublime I am, Samadhi that I am, enfolding me now in that mighty, magic, electronic pillar of cosmic light substance. My identification with its magnificent humility and thoughtful creativity, so powerful and complete, that I artfully and magically alter every polarity with healing unity. Within this majestic pillar of light blazes that love as the violet, compassionate flame. In, through, and around my etheric, mental, emotional, and physical bodies, effortlessly dissolving, consuming, transmuting, and reconciling the dualities of my human ego. Charging my world and all eye contact with the tangible substance, living awareness, and conscious activity, the presence and superconscious Superman of all enlightened beings, liberated and ascended masters, seeing, feeling, and hearing this light as it shines, radiates, and resonates within me as a visible pillar of the world, stabilized, supported, and sustained by the brilliant, elegant One, and infinitely sensitive to that invulnerable state of divine I am Superman. Let's go ahead and give it again, remembering to say Superman. Sublime I am Superman that I am, enfolding me now in that mighty, magic, electronic pillar of cosmic light substance. My identification with its magnificent humility and thoughtful creativity, so powerful and complete, that I artfully and magically alter every polarity with healing unity. Within this majestic pillar of light blazes that love as the violet, compassionate flame. In, through, and around my etheric, mental, emotional, and physical bodies, effortlessly dissolving, consuming, transmuting, and reconciling the dualities of my human ego. Charging my world and all eye contact with the tangible substance, living awareness, and conscious activity, the presence and superconscious Superman of all enlightened beings, liberated and ascended masters, seeing, feeling, and hearing this light as it shines, radiates, and resonates within me as a visible pillar of the world, stabilized, supported, and sustained by the brilliant, elegant One, and infinitely sensitive to that invulnerable state of divine I am Superman. Eternity is my home. I do all that is necessary to actualize this ever-fresh realization and organize my life around it. Eternity is my home. I do all that is necessary to actualize this ever-fresh realization and organize my life around it. Eternity is my home. I do all that is necessary to actualize this ever-fresh realization and organize my life around it. Our home is not an apartment down on 3rd Street. It's not composed of our living rooms and bedrooms and television sets and computers. Our home is eternity. We live in eternity now. We live with Superman. Superman's home wasn't Earth. It was this kingdom of Krypton. It was like a heavenly world, more in the vein of Greek mythology, where you have the gods and the arch demons or arch gods, the titans. There's the good and the bad. There's the positive and the negative, which is a whole nother subject of how heaven is made. But quite interesting. We live in eternity now. If we don't believe that about ourselves, we don't believe our godhood. We don't believe the soulness of our lives, our gift given gone. But when we live in eternity rather than this mundane footstool kingdom of apartments on 3rd Street, then we live as this Christos, Krishna, Buddha, Allah, Pharaoh, monarch, divine mother, father, son, conscious awareness. These archetypes that have been shown to us throughout the ages, we can live in them now. And it's a very unique outpicturing of all of that heart and soul for each one of us. It won't be the same at all. But we can come together and affirm that we're going to go this way. And by coming together and affirming it, we give ourselves a little bit of confidence, because very few people do it. And when very few people do it, the tendency is to sit back and say, well, then I'm not going to do it either. So we come together and we give these mantras that say a common creed, if you will, of where we're going, knowing that each of us is going to use the truth of these mantras in a slightly different way. And it's going to outpicture in a slightly different way. It's not going to ever look just exactly the same. Not the same as Jesus, not the same as Gautama, but there will be similarities that you can point to. And that's why these stories work. Let's give some more mantras. I love it. One of the things that we found in Superman was that he had quite a lot of opposition. He fought with whether to even share the truth of his being in the beginning. He had his Gethsemane, whether he should, step forward, how he should move forward, whether he should turn himself in or not. This whole thing. And he had to be able to reflect away from this truth of who he really is. He had to be able to reflect back upon them the negativity that they sent to him. So here is the odium reflecting one-way mirror, within which we say the reverse the tide mantra. So let's go ahead and give this to protect ourselves from that odium, which will be directed at the Christ in you, the Buddha in you, the Allah in you. So let's give it together. About this pillar of light, this pillar of the world, this forgiving Superman that I am, here manifests now about me a one-way mirror reflecting back to its sender, and here you can name those that you know to be directing arrows of odium or misfortune, as described below. And this is all the odium that's being reflected. All odium, hatred, ill will, disgust, abhorrence, repugnance, revulsion, loathing, detestation, obloquy, opprobrium, vituperation, condemnation, denunciation, abuse, criticism, censure, defamation, denigration, calumny, insults, castigation, excoriation, disgrace, dishonor, shame, discredit, stigma, humiliation, loss of face, ignominy, disfavor, disrepute, infamy, stain, hostility, antipathy, anger, abomination, and scandal. Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. And now let's give this reverse the tide, holding up our hands thusly to reflect back to the sender all of this odium. Come on. Reverse the tide, reverse the tide, reverse the tide. Roll them back, roll them back, roll them back. Reverse the tide, reverse the tide, reverse the tide. Reflections command. Reverse the tide, reverse the tide, reverse the tide. Roll them back, roll them back, roll them back. Reverse the tide, reverse the tide, reverse the tide. Reflections command. Reverse the tide, reverse the tide, reverse the tide. Roll them back, roll them back, roll them back. Reverse the tide, reverse the tide, reverse the tide. Reflections command. Reverse the tide, reverse the tide, reverse the tide. Roll them back, roll them back, roll them back. Reverse the tide, reverse the tide, reverse the tide. Reflections command. Reverse the tide, reverse the tide, reverse the tide. Roll them back, roll them back, roll them back. Reverse the tide, reverse the tide, reverse the tide. Reflections command. Reverse the tide, reverse the tide, reverse the tide. Roll them back, roll them back, roll them back. Reverse the tide, reverse the tide, reverse the tide. Reflections command. Reverse the tide, reverse the tide, reverse the tide. Roll them back, roll them back, roll them back. Reverse the tide, reverse the tide, reverse the tide. Reflections command. Reverse the tide, reverse the tide, reverse the tide. Roll them back, roll them back, roll them back. Reverse the tide, reverse the tide, reverse the tide. Reflections command. Reverse the tide, reverse the tide, reverse the tide. Roll them back, roll them back, roll them back. Reverse the tide, reverse the tide, reverse the tide. Reflections command. Reverse the tide, reverse the tide, reverse the tide. Roll them back, roll them back, roll them back. Reverse the tide, reverse the tide, reverse the tide. Reflections command. Reverse the tide, reverse the tide, reverse the tide. Roll them back, roll them back, roll them back. Reverse the tide, reverse the tide, reverse the tide. Reflections command. Reverse the tide, reverse the tide, reverse the tide. Roll them back, roll them back, roll them back. Reverse the tide, reverse the tide, reverse the tide. Reflections command. Here, manifest now, in, and then the names of those who you know to be sending arrows of misfortune at you. And we beg for them all forgiveness, pardon, absolution, exoneration, remission, dispensation, clemency, mercy, reprieve, amnesty, grace, compassion, charity, forbearance, quarter, humanity, kindness, empathy, tolerance, generosity, boon, favor, peace, magnanimity, and beneficence. In the fullness of cosmic joy, we accept this and miracles manifest here and now, with unconditional love, wisdom, and power, anchored in the earth, air, fire, water, and akasha, and tangibly manifest in our lives and the lives of all evolutions of light throughout cosmos. Go see this movie and see how big you too can live. See how dramatic, how abundant your life can be with experience, with miracle, with overcoming, with victory, with friendship, with honor, with integrity. None of us have to live as paupers. None of us. We can all take the mantle of the Superman upon our own shoulders and let it flap in the breeze of that Holy Spirit all about us. Let it move with grace. Let it lift us off the ground of normal, everyday life and into the refined atmosphere of and glories of eternity. That's what this is all about. This is the eternal Dharma. This is the Sanatam Dharma, as they say in India. There is no difference. I must say, I get a little riled when I feel people saying that somehow Samadhi game mantras are odd or do not represent the truth. They represent the truth far more effectively than most religions on the planet today. That is the truth. And I love all the religions on the earth today. I love them as we can interpret them with this perception that we have here in Samadhi game as who we really are. Then each religion becomes a glorious path. But you have to see deeper than just this outer form. He died for us. Bullshit. Each
Whoa,
one of
Nelly.
us has to take up this path. Each one of us stands as this Christ. Each one of us has to lift ourselves with salvation, has to assume this consciousness of Christos, Krishna, Buddha, Allah, Pharaoh, Monarch, Divine Mother, Father, Son conscious awareness. So let's go on and give a few more mantras. Let's give the heartfelt, tangible samadhi. Every time you don't see in the movie Superman once cave in his chest. Not once. Always standing strong with his chest forward. In yoga, they say, as though your heart were leading. So every pose you take, your heart is leading. Every pose you take, your heart is leading. Every mantra that you give is a pose that you take. Your heart is leading. So heartfelt, tangible samadhi. O Great Spirit, O mighty I am Superman at the center of all creation. Radiant with illuminating fire, O heartfelt parent of all sons and sons. Pour forth that life-giving power and fan the spark of that divinity on the altar of my heart. Amplify and magnify this spark by the fire breath of the whole I Spirit into the potent God flame that I am. O the shimmering fountain of life that I hear, feel, smell, taste, and see within me. I choose this constant cascade of liquid light. Actively receiving its shimmering directive radiance. Tangibly and powerfully manifest in my experience. I open the innermost temple of love within this evident, ebullient, celestial, cosmic fire. I manifest that life and light for our healing and regeneration, letting the breath, height, fullness, and crown of the solar radiance of the sun behind the sun appear. I stand forth. Revealed in and through me is the neutral witness that Christos, Krishna, Buddha, Allah, Pharaoh, Monarch, Divine Mother, Father, Son conscious awareness. I am the visible, audible, and tangible flame of eternal life, breathing the scintillating prana chi from the source to the root of my being. Liquid rays of light flooding my chakras, seated upon their lotus thrones of love.
Molten gold of enlightenment.
Shivering its ascension up my spine, crowning my awareness with the diamond rays of attainment. As the white fire beam of my heart, I dynamically emanate and transmit this audible, tangible, fragrant, delectable, and visible substance of living Superman as creativity and direction. I am a sun in the palace of this shining void, this temple a glistening world of infinite space. The process of my transformations, sounding the melodies, harmonies, and rhythms of the great solar symphony. I am the dazzling flame of life, here and now, because I am nowhere else but everywhere forever. I am Superman's palpable joy, tactile glory, and felt perfection of boundless being. I am that, I am that, I am that. I am a super manifestation of stealing nerves and loving heart. I am a super manifestation of stealing nerves and loving heart. I am a super manifestation of stealing nerves and loving heart. An embodiment, an embodiment, an embodiment. I am oneness lived. In this movie, they make the point that Superman, Kal-El, they call him in this movie. I don't even think they're allowed to say Superman in the movie. I don't think they said it once. They are about to, but they never said it. I think there's copyright on that. And I think that that's not possible for them to say it in the movie. So anyway, so in the movie, Kal-El comes to Earth, and on Earth...
It's true. It didn't say Marvel Comics.
No,
it said Legend Films.
Yeah. I think it's a completely different copyright, so they had to be really careful in this film. I'm glad they made it. It was awesome film.
Super, and this symbol doesn't mean S. It's not an S.
Yeah,
it means hope.
Yeah. They didn't even say it. When Lois Lane said, "Here it means," and he says, "In our planet, it means hope." It's not an S. It means hope. Anyway, he comes to Earth, and Earth has this young, bright, yellow, golden star, the sun. And it has this oxygen-rich, laden, beautiful, nourishing atmosphere. I love this idea of being able to stand in nature and absorb the pranas, which we do with saga breathing. When you come for Samadhi game mantras and 8 days of Samadhi here at Sunny Mellow, what we will do is we'll stand with our feet planted in the earth and breathe in this nourishment all around us. Just like Superman, at one point he took a bad fall and he was struggling to get his breath again, get his source, and the sun was rising and he raises up his hand so his palm can take the brilliance of the sun. He can absorb the brilliance of the sun into his being, and he becomes nourished and strengthened by that. We can all have this pranic relationship happening. It doesn't just happen with Superman. It happens with us all. We're constantly absorbing or emitting into our environment around us. So I'd like to take us to the I am the sun mantra.
Is it okay to use the pen?
Yes, go ahead, yeah. I'd like to take us there. Let me see if I can find it right here. I am the sun. We'll give this mantra in affirmation of the sun conscious awareness within our beings. This I am the sun. I am the Superman. I am the Son of God. No longer do I wait for some other son or daughter of God to lead the way, but now I walk as a son of God. And I absorb the sun from that center of our solar system, Helios and Vesta, that blazes 24/7 for millions and billions and eons of time. So we reach out and know that that sun is a nourishing source. Let's take it in, Kathleen. Let's take it in, Jamie Lynn. Let's take it in. All of you joining us in this archive diversion, saying with us together these mantras of enlightenment. As the sun blazing, Christos, Krishna, Buddha, Allah, Pharaoh, monarch, divine mother, father, sun conscious, neutral witness awareness, and nothing less than this. I radiate with, side by side with Alpha and Omega, Helios and Vesta, mighty cosmos and the great central sun magnet, the god and goddess Meru, Elohim, Apollo, and Lumina, archangels Jophiel and Christine, Lord Lanto, Lord Ling, Confucius and Lao Tzu, Sanat Kumara, Gautama Buddha, Lord Maitreya, Jesus, Padmasambhava and Kuthumi, Om Ritas, Om Ram, and the great divine director, Saint Germain and Portia, El Moria, Padre Pio, and Rose of Light. Charity, Surya and Cusco, Lanello, Sir Lafalat, and K17. Kali, the Buddha Mother, and all true messiahs, all enlightened, liberated, ascended, and cosmic beings, legions of angels and archangels, Christed ones, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Supermen, and Elohim, gnomes of the earth, undines of the water, sylphs of the air, salamanders of elemental fire, and lightning bolts of Akasha. I decree. Come, O Sun, O golden sun, unto our hearts we say, now radiate your sacred fire upon our world today. Power of the central sun, a magnet of delight, restore the dharma of the earth, a golden sun is bright. I am the sun, I hold the sacred rod. I am the sun, the blazing sun of God. Come, O lifeless shining up the fill of mine with fire. Helios and Vesta, come and part your pure desire. Wisdom of the central sun, a magnet of delight, restore the gnosis of ourself and cure and perfect sight. I am the sun, I hold the sacred rod. I am the sun, the blazing sun of God. Come, O power, radiant power, solar plexus rays, transmute the the patterns of our fear, not the soul get praise. Love fire of the central sun, a magnet of delight. We store compassion for our love and pink and golden light. I am the sun, I am the sun, I hold the sacred rod. I am the sun, I am the sun, a blazing sun of God. Come, O sun, and golden sun, into our hearts we say, now radiate your sacred power upon our world today. Power of the central sun, a magnet of delight. Restore the dharma of the earth, the golden sun is bright. I am the sun, I am the sun, I hold the sacred rod. I am the sun, I am the sun, a blazing sun of God. Come, O life, the shining life, the fill of mind with fire. Helios invested, come and participate desire. Wisdom of the central sun, a magnet of delight. Restore the gnosis of ourself and cure and perfect sight. I am the sun, I am the sun, I hold the sacred rod. I am the sun, I am the sun, a blazing sun of God. Come, a power, radiant power, solar plexus rays. Transmute the patterns of our fear, not the soul pays. The fire of the central sun, a magnet of delight. Restore compassion for our love and pink and golden light. I am the sun, I am the sun, I hold the sacred rod. I am the sun, I am the sun, a blazing sun of God. Come, a sun, a golden sun, into our hearts to say, now radiate your sacred power upon our world today. Power of the central sun, a magnet of delight. Restore the dharma of the earth, the golden sun is bright. I am the sun, I am the sun, I hold the sacred rod. I am the sun, I am the sun, the blazing sun of God. Come, a life that's shining, let the fill the mind with fire. Helios invested, come and participate desire. Wisdom of the central sun, a magnet of delight. Restore the gnosis of ourself and cure and perfect sight. I am the sun, I am the sun, I hold the sacred rod. I am the sun, I am the sun, the blazing sun of God. Come, a power, radiant power, solar plexus rays. Transmute the patterns of our fear, not those like your praise. Love fire of the central sun, and burning in the light. Restore compassion for our life and pink and golden light. I am the sun, I am the sun, I hold the sacred rod. I am the sun, I am the sun, the blazing sun of God. Come, O sun and golden sun, into our hearts who say, now radiate your sacred power upon our world today.
Power of the central sun,
Magnet
magnet
of delight, restore the dharma of the earth, the golden sun is bright. I am the sun, I am the sun, I hold the sacred rod. I am the sun, I am the sun, a blazing sun of God. Come, O life, the shining up, the filled with mind with fire. Helios invested, come and participate desire. Wisdom of the central sun, a magnet of delight. Restore gnosis of ourself and cure and perfect sight. I am the sun, I am the sun, I hold the sacred rod. I am the sun, I am the sun, a blazing sun of God. Come, a power, radiant power, solar plexus rays. And meet the patterns of our fear, not those good pays. Love fire of the central sun, a magnet of delight. Restore compassion for our life and pink and golden light. I am the sun, I am the sun, I hold the sacred rod. I am the sun, I am the sun, a blazing sun of God. I am the sun, I am the sun, I hold the sacred rod. I am the sun, I am the sun, a blazing sun of God. I am the sun, I am the sun, I hold the sacred rod. I am the sun, I am the sun, a blazing sun of God. I am the sun, I am the sun, I hold the sacred rod. I am the sun, I am the sun, a blazing sun of God. I am the sun, I hold the sacred rod. I am the sun, I am the sun, a blazing sun of God. I am the sun, I am the sun, I hold the sacred rod. I am the sun, I am the sun, a blazing sun of God. I am the sun, I am the sun, I hold the sacred rod. I am the sun, I am the sun, a blazing sun of God. I am the sun, I am the sun, I hold the sacred rod. I am the sun, I am the sun, a blazing sun of God. Let's just take that into meditation. Feel your heart expanding with that love, with that brilliance of sunshine.
Yikes.
Hans Zimmer fashioned this music for this movie, and they called it Man of Steel because they couldn't use Superman. And Steel, that's, in the very beginning of the movie, he does this incredible feat of holding the steel girders while people are being saved. Mm-hmm. And they have the sound of steel in this music. You can just hear it, reverberating. And he uses some sort of really incredible electronic equipment to create a very pure, deep tone that you couldn't get any other way except by using this electronic equipment. Get this deep tone that sounds like steel girders vibrating with this very deep tone. It's really amazing. It's tangible. It's tactile. You can feel it resonating throughout your body. And I think for almost the entire movie, the music plays in the background, even in the more quiet scenes. I think there's music all the way through, setting a tone, setting a matrix of feeling tone, and which is such an important part of samadhi game, to find that feeling tone and then holding to it, that tone. So this music creates a matrix of tone which allows you to really hold an open heart, a filled heart of love throughout the entire movie. So enjoy the movie. We saw it for the second time last night.
Yeah. We did. You saw it the second time. I was there.
It was late. We had worked all day, and we went to the late show. It didn't start until 9:30, and I don't think it got out until 12:30, and we didn't get home until 1. But I wanted to see it again before we had this show, so that some of the symbology of it was fresh in my memory, and some of the concepts were clear. Because I knew that there was a lot there, and I didn't realize how closely they had followed the pattern of the life of Christ until we saw it last night. It's almost exact. So enjoy.
Except they didn't crucify him.
Well, they did crucify him. They crucified him by, there was times when he fell to the earth with blood coming from his hands, and it was amazing. They it wasn't the same way as they did, but they did hold him and had him strapped to the table, remember? And they were taking his blood.
True. Okay.
And then the Father, the essence of the Father. There's even this idea. The essence of the Father
He's there with him.
There.
He's there because he shows up impromptu to answer some questions.
Evidently the technology on Krypton is so great that you could harness the essence of yourself and hold it in a patterned electronic vision or view, and so it's a great film. I know you'll enjoy it.
Yes,
but the symbology of that was the Father. Oh Father, forgive them. Not what they do. And the Father played. Who was it? Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe. Absolutely incredible. All the actors were great in this film. So,
yes, we are getting excited for Dante. There's a little snags here and there because his father wants to keep him longer. But we're going there. Maybe the first 4 days, you and I will just have a really nice honeymoon. Go to Dubrovnik. Huh?
Oh, okay. However it works best. I'm.
I know. Please.
That's the first I heard.
I almost went through the phone lines to smack him hard.
That's the first I heard of it too.
Well, why was I absent at the beginning of the broadcast? Yikes! It's like he knew when we were going to go online, and then popped this one. Had Dante ask me, "Can I stay longer with Daddy?" Mm-hmm. And I said, "Don't make him cry."
Yeah. Well, we'll have to just manifest, Superman, super consciousness, and let the flow take place, and understand that there's karmas there, and just have to just watch it unfold, and do our best to see that He's in our arms of love
Yes.
as soon as possible.
Yes. You know, we can go and me and you can play. I can show you it's like really cool things that Dante's seen like millions of times, and who cares? And it'll be your first time. So
But save those water parks and things and sailing. Well, maybe we can do some of that too.
no, you and I will drive to Dubrovnik. You and I,
Okay.
because Dante could care less about Dubrovnik, but you're gonna love it.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. All right. Well, so thank you for joining us. Maintain this consciousness today.
Yeah, and we're gonna do Samadhi broadcast from We can do one from Dubrovnik.
We can do it from Dubrovnik. We'll do it from
Yeah.
Split. We'll do it from Betana.
If you guys even watched that show Game of Thrones, it was filmed in Dubrovnik.
Game of
So,
Thrones.
yeah, so we're gonna
Another great epic, actually, which I like watching and having people watch epics because it gives you that sense of that music. This music, I'm playing it loud because
He loves it. Oh, by the way, the morning there's a little speaker near my ear, and he sneaks over and turns up the volume, and then comes out here and turns it on. Dun, 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 dun.
we have speakers around the bed,
Yeah.
and I can turn it on or turn it off and have it broadcast the same music we're listening to here. And so I wake her up sometimes to.
I love it. Yesterday was funny though. I'd already went to the bathroom and come out and go, oh, that sneaky Pete. Turned on the music loud to get me play a cat on the ceiling.
We love you for being with us and for having this consistency of staying with Samadhi game, and it shows that you love yourself at a deeper level than those people you know. And don't ever think less about yourself because you stand differently. You stand strong in yourself. You're gone. We love you. We'll see you. Maybe this weekend. We'll do a Samadhi broadcast in the midst of our preparation and leaving for Croatia. We'll try to get a broadcast on Sunday night late, maybe before we go to bed. I know that sounds like a lot, but maybe the last thing we do before we leave, before we
Mantra
sleep.
for safe travels.
Safe travels.
Smooth sailing.
Until then, have lovely, super days and nights, and manifestations of glory all around you and all within you and everywhere you go. Every smile that you see, every smile that you give. Have a wonderful day and enjoy the music as we leave you. Oh, good.